Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Are we all set? My clock, 6 o'clock. Okay, I call to order the December meeting of the Lafayette Common Council. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag?
I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America
And to the
and to
republic
the republic
for which it
for
stands,
which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty
justice,
and
and
justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Okay, will the clerk please conduct a roll call?
Heidi,
Here.
Fisher,
Here.
Reynolds,
Here.
Campbell,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Oweschmeyer, here, Williamson,
Here.
Downing.
Here.
Quorum present.
Okay, you have received the minutes of the November 2nd meeting. Are there any corrections or questions?
I move that those minutes be accepted as communicated.
Okay, and
That's
Mr.
right.
Downing? Okay.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please. Roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Tinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Oweschmeyer. Aye. Williamson,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Minutes approved.
Okay, presentation and disposal of claims.
There are none.
Presentation of petitions and communications.
There are none.
Reports of city offices on file in the city clerk's office.
Waterworks Department monthly October, Renew Department monthly October, Police Department monthly October, and Fleet Maintenance monthly October.
And all these reports are on file at the city clerk's office, and the hours are now, is it 8 to 12 and
2 to
4?
4:30. Yes.
Okay. Ordinances for second reading. Ordinance 2020-36.
An ordinance concerning the refunding by the city of Lafayette, Indiana, of certain of its outstanding sewage works revenue bonds, authorizing the issuance of sewage works refunding revenue bonds for such purpose, providing for the collection, segregation, and distribution of the revenue of the sewage works, and safeguarding of the interest of owners of said sewage works refunding revenue bonds, other matters connected therewith, and repealing ordinances inconsistent herewith.
Okay, Mrs. Alsmeyer.
Madam President, I move we hear and approve ordinance 2020-36.
Okay, and Mr. Brown.
I second.
Okay. Do we have questions, or you would like Dennis Otten to give just a brief overview of this?
This is Dennis. I'm happy to do so. I'll just briefly touch upon the ordinance. I know this was before the council last month,
Right.
and we've been talking about this some time, but this authorizes approximately not to exceed $42 million of bonds. I think the expectation is it'll be $40 million of bonds issued, but like other refinancing bond ordinances that have been before the city, this is really to get a savings in debt service. Right now, the estimated, I spoke with the underwriter earlier today, and the savings estimate is still around 1.5 to $1.6 million. We're working with Tim Clary's office on timing, and I think the expectation is to try to go out to the market the first quarter of next year, so 2021, and of course, subject to the interest rates, but everything's looking favorable, and payment dates will not change. We're not extending the term, so kind of like refinancing the mortgage on your house, but I'm of course happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the council members concerning this ordinance? Okay, hearing none. Also, was there any public comment?
There was none.
Okay, can you also tell us right now, was there any public comment about any ordinance or resolution that we're discussing tonight?
I did get a letter late this afternoon from Mr. Kleckner, Tommy Kleckner from the Indiana Landmarks in support of the historic ordinances that we're doing for the voluntary folks that are requesting the historic preservation. And I'll read that into the minutes right before we start hearing all those, if that's okay.
So other than that, we don't have to talk about public comment. That's the only thing that you've received.
Yes.
Okay. Will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-36?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, next is ordinance 2020-37.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establish a local centennial 420 North Fifth Street Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Okay, Mr. Campbell.
I move for passage of that particular ordinance.
Okay, and Mr. Downing.
Second.
All right. I know John Collier's here to answer any questions about the historic districts. And now is. what you
Yeah.
read?
If you don't care if I go ahead and read this into the minutes.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay, it's for ordinances 2020-37 through 2020-42. Dear Madam President and members of the council, I wish to convey in Indiana landmark support of ordinance 2020-37 through 2020-42, which are before you this evening for second reading. Indiana Landmarks remains a staunch advocate of local historic designation as one of the most effective tools for protecting the community's irreplaceable landmarks and bolstering their long-term preservation. It's extremely encouraging to see the concerted effort being made by the preservation community and the Lafayette Historic Preservation Commission to protect the unique historic character of the Lafayette community. I commend both the property owners who are volunteering requesting their local designation and the Historic Preservation Commission for its favorable recommendations. I also would like to thank you for your commitment to preservation through consideration and hopefully approval of these ordinance. Tommy Kleckner, Director.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or concerns about this ordinance from any of the council members? Okay, hearing none, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-37?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown, Perry. Oh, I see you. Okay, Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
County.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, next is ordinance 2020-38.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a local Ellsworth Howe Block Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Okay, Mr. Heidi
Move to ordinance number 2020-38.
and Mr. Clinker.
Second.
All right. Any comments or concerns about this ordinance? Okay, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-38?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown, Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, next is ordinance 2020-39.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a local St. Mary's 1116 Columbia Street Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Okay, Mr. Reynolds
Move to hear and approve ordinance 2020-39.
and Mrs. Williamson.
Second.
Okay, any comments or questions about this ordinance? Okay, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-39?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown. I can't hear Perry. Is everybody else not able to hear him?
I
I
can't
can-
hear.
I can't hear him.
I can see his mouth move though. There we go. Okay, I got you. Okay, Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, next is ordinance 2020-40.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a local St. Mary's 1431 Columbia Street Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Mrs. Alsmeyer,
I move we hear and approve ordinance 2020-40.
Mr. Brown? Okay, I saw him say second.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, any questions or concerns about this ordinance? Will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-40?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown, Allersmeyer. Yeah,
Aye.
okay, got you, Barry. Williamson,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, next is ordinance 2020-41.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a local St. Mary's 1501 Main Street Historic District in the city of Lafayette.
Okay, Mr. Campbell.
I move for passage of ordinance 2020-41 on second and final reading.
And Mr. Downing.
Second.
Okay, once again, are there any questions or concerns about this ordinance? Will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-41?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown, Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, next is ordinance 2020-42.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a local St. Mary's Upper Columbia Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Okay, Mr. Clinker.
I move we hear ordinance 2020-42 on second and final reading.
And Mr. Heidi.
Second.
Okay, any questions or concerns about this ordinance? Will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-42?
Heidi,
Aye.
Clinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown, Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, now ordinances for first reading. Ordinance 2020-43.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana, Uzo Amendment number 98.
Mr. Reynolds
A second.
and Mrs. Williamson.
I move we hear and approve ordinance 2020-43.
Okay, and then Jerry seconded. Okay. Okay, Mrs. Chosnick, are you going to speak to this or somebody?
I can
Okay.
speak to it briefly. This ordinance is a result of discussions over the last year or so between the APC and the Purdue Research Foundation concerning the development of the new Discovery Park District in West Lafayette. This ordinance establishes a new Discovery Park District form-based overlay, which kind of establishes the development ground rules for what new construction within the new Discovery Park District will look like. Again, even though this is dealing with West Lafayette, but the way our new ZO ordinance is written, all the agencies have to adopt it. So that's why it's in front of us tonight.
Okay. Are there any questions about this ordinance from council members? Okay, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-43?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown, Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Hey,
Okay,
Jerry,
next-
Jerry, quick question. Was it, I forgot to ask at the beginning, that did pass unanimously at area plan, didn't it, Jerry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, ordinance 2020-44.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from GB to I-3, 600 Elston Road, Jetboy LLC petitioner.
Okay, Mrs. Alsmeyer
I move we hear and approve ordinance 2020-44.
and Mr. Brown. Did he second? Did he say second?
Yeah, I got him.
Okay. And Tyler Oakes, are you here to speak to this ordinance?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Good evening to the council. So this ordinance is for a rezone to rezone property at 600 Elston Road. The rezone would go from what is now general business to an I-3 zone. The I-3 zone lets you do essentially anything under the sun. So to kind of working with to call some concerns.
I can't hear.
Okay.
I lost you.
So to calm those concerns, we met with the APC and we went ahead and filed a commitment. And what this commitment will do is it is restricted use of the land to permitted uses 41 and 42, which is essentially just suburban transit and highway passenger transportation and motor freight transportation and warehousing. Now, currently on the first quarter of the lot is Executive Air and Coach, which is already using the area to store their vehicles. Based on the way that the UZO is written, you cannot have more than 2 acres of storage space in a GB zone. So essentially, we're doing a rezone just to expand the storage space that's already going on. There's going to be no buildings added to the area. We're going to be putting in a gravel lot with a fence, and it's going to be strictly boat and RV storage. This is to provide flexibility in the long term, where if somebody wants to come in and develop that land for residential or business down the road, they certainly can do so. But it also offers a short-term solution in that we can generate some money now, and it'll be a tax base for the county and or in the city, excuse me. There's going to be buffer zones on each side. I know there's residential currently to the east and the west, so there'll be a 30-foot buffer zone to the west, a 20-foot buffer zone to the right. There's a retention pond in the back. And this is contiguous with the I-3 zone that's north of the property currently. So, you know, the way the UZO is written, I know there's concerns about semi trucks and trailers. The way the UZO is written, there's no way to differentiate between what is going to be stored there. We can only ask for storage, period. But my client has assured me, and we're comfortable, you know, putting it on the record that it will be boat and RV storage strictly. Again, our goal here is flexibility for the long term while getting short-term usage. It's not going to be intrusive, and I'd be happy to answer any comments or concerns with the property or with the petition. Excuse me.
And Madam President, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, I also, when you say off-road or vehicles, recreation, that's off-road vehicles, that's any kind of recreation vehicle. And if something happens that you decide to sell the business, that doesn't mean the next party comes in could not park semis, tractor trailers, or whatever. Is that correct?
I believe that would be true, since the commitment would run with the land, and it would be zoned that, I suppose. So if it were sold, if anybody wanted to do anything outside of the commitment, it would have to go through the APC and through the city council to change the designation again.
And so does that also then does not eliminate junkyards if the property was sold for whatever reason, and there could also be a junkyard there, correct?
Is a junkyard a permitted use under 41 or 42?
Yes.
Gravel roads, you're going to put gravel roads right there by the highway, the road.
It would not.
You're not supposed to use gravel in the city of Lafayette for anything.
Essentially, we're putting in just a lot in the back, so it would be a normal road coming off that road. It's not like a gravel road. It would be just a normal standard road leading into the property, and we work with the highway department in ensuring that was done correctly. It's more so
or asphalt, something like that.
I'm sorry?
Concrete or asphalt.
Yeah, we would work with the city in putting in whatever's necessary to obviously stay up with code in the back. But the point that we're making is just that we're not building any structures. It would just be whatever is necessary to store RVs and boats on it in the interim.
And that's just, like you said, that's just, but in case the property would sell, we would have to live with whatever's there. And I think that's been a concern about residents and so on around there. And also, being that is a planned thoroughfare, secondary arterial, and I've been out here a couple, 3 times, I guess, maybe 4, but the traffic is so heavy on that road. And I didn't see any school buses, but I assume by the neighbors there is school buses that travel on that area also. And that's my concern. And then and the people in the area is concerned about being an I-3.
So, I mean, like I said, there's already transport storage going on right now. The issue is we can only do it up to 2 acres, so it would just be expanding it. However, we feel that by doing boats and RVs, which traditionally are stored during the winter, so you're putting it in, it's there for an extended period of time, and then you pull it out. You're not going back and forth frequently. This isn't every day you're going to check on your storage. So we feel that the in and out, the traffic that it would bring would be minimal for that area. And while I do understand the concerns of a junkyard, ultimately it's speculating on a long-term thing that I just don't think is prudent currently. My client is going in with a good faith effort to provide a business that's going to contribute to the tax base. If anything, long-term, he's holding it so it can be developed into something that can benefit the area, whether that's, I know there's been some expression of potential residential later, as the area needs it. So we're holding it, or he's holding it for flexibility, but obviously he wants to do something in the interim and start, producing out of this vacant land that's going to lay vacant otherwise.
And I agree with what you're saying, except concerns have always been in the APC and Tippecanoe County, City of Lafayette, that once it's zoned and something happens, and we hope nothing happens, but if it's sold, then whoever decides to buy that, obviously I-3s are more valuable, but besides that, it could be anything. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the concerns of the neighbors also, and that's my concern.
Yeah. And I agree, but that's why, we spent a lot of time with the Area Plan Commission in drafting this commitment to make it as strict as humanly possible. We limited it to the only uses that would allow my client to do what we wanted to do. So while the I-3 is extremely expansive, we're doing everything we can to make sure that it's strictly used, and that commitment runs with the property and runs with the rezone. So they're still bound by it.
I understand that. That's what scares me.
They're bound by the commitment, not just they. And so even if they sold it, it's not like they can advertise it as just an open and free I-3 that can be open to all uses. They're still bound by the commitment.
Yeah, only mining and et cetera. But okay, I understand. I understand where you're from. Okay.
So they would essentially only be able to use it for storage.
Yeah, and then, like you said, that still doesn't mean they can't back semis and store them in there, or trailers or whatever. And we have trailers all over right now that are setting in different lots that don't require buffer yards.
This would require a buffer yard, and we.
I know it does. I know it does. I understand that.
Are you building anything in between the graveyard and your property, such as a fence, 6-8 foot fence?
So currently, based on the proposings that we have, there's no buffer yard required back there, but there would be a retention pond or a detention pond back there that's of somewhat significant size. So that would kind of act as a quasi buffer. In terms of the fence, I don't know if my client intends to do so or not. If it were a deal breaker, I'm sure he certainly would be open to doing so. I would assume there probably is a fence back there, but I don't know for certain.
How much an area are we talking about from the length of the fence?
Six.
I'm trying to, based on the drawing, give you an idea. I mean, it would be a pretty substantial fence. I don't have an exact area for you. Be happy to submit that to you. But it was with the rezone exhibits for the original petition. But I'm sorry, I don't have an exact answer for you on that.
I would move to table this particular rezoning until you can come up with some answers about that particular fence and the areas we're talking about.
And I think also we may add too, to see what the city's going to require, whether that's going to be hard surface, whether it's going to be asphalt or concrete, that must cover the area that they're storing on.
Okay, so any other comments or concerns?
I do have a question. The fencing that's required for I-3, Mr. Oakes, is that a see-through fencing like a chain link, or is it a wooden or slatted or tarped fence where it would not be visible to the road or the neighbors?
In terms of what's required, my impression was that, it probably would just be chain link. However, I know my client would certainly be open to discussion if there was a preference to change that. If sightliness is a concern.
And also, that's only a buffer yard on the front side. Am I correct? Is what you're saying?
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
The buffer yard is only on the front side. It doesn't require it on the back. Correct?
Yes. There's no back buffer. That's what excuse me. Because that's an I-3 zone in the back where the cemetery currently is. There's no required buffer there.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
I did have another question, Mr. Oakes. You said you worked with the Area Plan Commission on the commitment, but the ordinance says that the staff recommendation was still denial. Was that with the commitment or before the commitment or after the commitment they recommended denial?
That's not updated. We originally had sent this to Area Plan Commission, and they had suggested denial. We tabled the original petition and then worked with APC we then worked with APC to develop the commitment. And when it was heard in front of the APC last month with the commitment, we got a 14-2 approval, and the updated, I have it on me. The updated staff comments had done a approve with commitment.
Okay.
So I believe after talking to or hearing some of it that the wrong staff report was attached here, but with the commitment, it was approved on a 14-2 vote.
Oh, with the commitment. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and that was to move it onto the city.
Okay. Is there any sort of amendment that we have to make since it wasn't in the packet, that's the case, or can we confirm that with the clerk that it was submitted with that?
It was not submitted. We received it after the filing, but it was a recertification from Area Plan with what Tyler has alluded to.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And I second Mr. Campbell's motion of tabling this for the next meeting.
Okay. So, Jack, did we vote on the table and not vote on the first?
Yeah, that's correct. You would vote on the motion to table it.
Okay, so we have Mr. Campbell motion to table it and Mr. Heidi seconded, correct?
Right.
Okay, and let's have a roll call vote on tabling this ordinance.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
No?
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown. I got it. Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Motion's passes 7-1 to table till next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, next is ordinance 2020-45.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana, rezone certain real estate from R1U to GB 1709, 1717, and 1720 Colfax Street, Thayer's Enterprise Incorporated petitioner.
Okay, Mr. Campbell?
I move for passage of ordinance 2020-45 on first reading.
Okay, and Mr. Downing?
Second.
All right, and Mr. Teeter, are you speaking to this?
Yes, I am. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Teeter, attorney with Riley, Teeter and Schreier. I represent the petitioner in this matter. As you're aware, we're requesting a rezone to GP for this property. We received a favorable staff report, a unanimous yes vote from the Area Plan Commission as well. In the area, we have GB zoning to the north and to the west, and I have R3 to the south. There's an alley all along the east side of the property, and then to the west is the former Star Lane bowling alley. Petitioner located their business on Schuyler in 2005 and renovated their existing building. At that time, they were just solely a painting company, and since then they've gone into roofing and siding, guttering work. I think you've probably seen their commercials on TV. They've been very successful business, but they've outgrown their existing building, and they're requesting this rezoning for an expansion of their business in order to remain here at this location. They really enjoy and love where they are. It's a perfect location for them, and they want to stay here. The lot to the east is fenced for storage. The buildings on the lot to the south of Colfax will be raised, and we'll make additional parking there, and we'll also erect a building for additional storage on those lots. Presently, they indicate they have 18 employees, and they anticipate adding 4 to 5 employees in the next year. And with that, we would say that this is an excellent location for this rezone. We would respectfully request your approval. I'd be happy to respond to any comments or questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any questions or concerns about this ordinance? Okay, hearing none, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-45?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown, Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. The next is ordinance 2020-46.
An ordinance to amend the zoning order of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from GB to I-2 1701 Schuyler Avenue, Antique Candle Works Incorporated petitioner.
Okay, Mr. Heidi
Move to hear ordinance 2020-46.
and Mr. Clinker.
Second.
Okay, and Mr. Teeter.
Thank you again. For the record, Dan Teeter, attorney with Riley, Teeter and Schreier, represent the petitioner. As you're indicating, we're requesting rezone to I-2 for this spot. We received a favorable staff report, unanimous yes vote on this matter as well. This site is the former Star Lanes bowling alley. My client owns the building to the west, which we recently rezoned, and you had before you to an I-2 zone. To the north is I-3, east is now GB, and south is R3. Petitioner is in the process of renting the existing building to the west and has already determined that there's not enough space there for their business. As a result, the bowling alley site came on the market, and they find it to be a perfect fit for their expansion, and they're going to use this for raw materials and finished goods. Shipping will occur from this building to locations throughout the United States and Canada. The shipping team at this location will have 10 to 15 employees. The building to the west that you previously rezoned will house the management team and will be used for storage of their fragrant oils. The I-2 is going to allow outside loading, which is really essential to their business. That's why we rezoned the property to the west to I-2 as well. And we think, again, this is a compliment to the area. We would respectfully request your approval. I'd be happy to respond to any comments or questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Teeter. Are there any questions or comments from council members concerning this ordinance?
I have a question. Mr. Teeter, will they raise the building then and build a new one, or are they going to use the current building?
They're going to utilize the current building.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns? Okay, hearing none, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-46?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown, Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Ordinance 47, excuse me.
An ordinance to amend the zoning right of Tippecanoe County, Indiana, rezone certain real estate from R1B to NB 3014 Underwood Street, Madco of Lafayette 1, Incorporated petitioner.
Okay, Mr. Reynolds?
I move to hear ordinance 2020-47.
And Mrs. Williamson?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Oakes?
For the record, Tyler Oakes, Ball Eggleston, on behalf of the petitioner, Madco of Lafayette. So what we're asking the council for today is a rezone from R1B to NB, neighborhood business. Currently, the building that Madco is in, they've been renting since 2004 when they moved into the building. They moved into the building. So when they moved into the building in 2004, they've been renting since. They are in talks to, or they'd like to, depending on this rezone, purchase the building. The building is dated. It's been there for a while. It's like I said, it's been used as a restaurant since the 1980s. So they'd like to renovate it, put in a little bit more seating, and go from there. It's been a local neighborhood business, and this did receive unanimous approval from the Area Plan Commission. Be happy to answer any questions, but we would respectfully ask for the council to approve this ordinance, or this petition, excuse me.
Okay. Any questions from the council people concerning this ordinance? Okay, hearing none, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-47?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
I got you. Good. Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you all.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, ordinance 2020-48.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11, inclusion of certain property in the local Upper Main Street Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Okay, Mrs. Alsmeyer?
I move to hear ordinance 2020-48.
Okay, and Mr. Brown?
Second.
Okay. Mr.
Right.
Collier?
Good evening, Madam President and ladies and gentlemen of the council. John Collier here from the Economic Development Department. You have two new local historic districts for your review tonight. The Historic Preservation Commission did review and recommend your approval of these ordinances at their most recent Historic Preservation Commission meeting last month. Both of these ordinances are for individual property districts. So the first is a request for inclusion of this property at 813 Ferry Street to be included in the Upper Main local historic district. The property is a beautiful brick Italianate home. It was built in about 1870. And the property owner petitioned the commission for to voluntarily request the designation as a local district. And the Historic Preservation Commission, as well as the Economic Development staff, would appreciate your support as well.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Collier. Do any council members have questions concerning this ordinance? Hearing none, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote for ordinance 2020-48?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, next is ordinance 2020-49.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a local St. Mary's 1327 Columbia Street Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Okay, Mr. Campbell?
I move for passage of ordinance 2049 on first reading, please.
Mr. Downing.
Second.
Okay. Mr.
Okay,
Collier.
so this is another individual property that would be in the St. Mary's neighborhood. It's one property away from the Upper Columbia district that you just approved on second reading earlier in this meeting. But since it's not contiguous, it became its own local district. And this is actually currently a vacant lot, but vacant lot is important in regards to the local historic district, in that we want to make sure that whatever does get built there will contribute to the local district rather than detract from it. So that's why we're asking, but the petitioner is asking that this be included as a local historic district. The commission also reviewed this in its last meeting and also recommended approval. We appreciate your support.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Collier. Any questions or concerns concerning this ordinance? Okay, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-49?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Oldsmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, next we have resolution. Resolutions 2020-22.
A resolution approving an agreement between the City of Lafayette and the local number 472 Lafayette Firefighters Association, International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mayor, are you going to speak to this?
Yes, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the council, thank you for all your work tonight on these important issues. I'll keep this relatively brief. This is the resolution. It's not an ordinance because we're confirming the agreement we entered into with the Firefighters Union and the Board of Works. It's been through the Board of Works process. This is a 4-year agreement. We were very happy to be able to work with the Fire Department's union bargaining team and our team here at City Hall to get a 4-year agreement. It was passed, I believe, with only one dissenting vote, which is remarkable. Probably the biggest piece of this is what we discussed during the budget process. It is the longevity pay for our firefighters, and we'll be bringing the FOP contract for the police department to you also in January. And for both of them, that was by far and away their biggest concern and what they were hoping to achieve during this contract negotiations. And we were able to work that out with both of them. But this here is the fire union. We cleared up some language that they wanted cleared up and that we were all able to reach agreement on. There was a few things they asked for that we weren't able to do, and I had to respectfully let them know that we just weren't going to be able to do those. And they took it very well, and we worked through it. And just like you'd hope negotiations would go, and we were able to reach an agreement here that we could all sign. And so I would appreciate your support through this resolution ratifying this contract that I've signed and has went through the Board of Works.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any questions about this resolution?
Nancy, we need a motion to hear it and a second.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Mr. Clinker.
I move we hear resolution 2020-22 on first and final reading. And congratulations to both sides.
Yeah, and Mr. Heidi?
Second.
Okay, now, questions or concerns? Hearing none, okay, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on resolution 2020-22?
Heidi,
Aye.
Clinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown, Oldsmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Okay, next is resolution 2020-23.
A resolution of the Common Council of the City of Lafayette, Indiana, approving resolution number LRC 2020-14 of the Lafayette Redevelopment Commission, which amended the economic development plan for McCarty Economic Development Area. and the order of the Area Plan Commission of Tippecanoe County, Indiana, related thereto.
Okay, Mr. Reynolds.
I move to hear resolution 2020-23.
And Mrs. Williamson.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Dennis Otten or the mayor, who's going to speak to this?
I'd be happy to, Mayor. Is that all right with you?
Yes, Dennis, that's fine. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. And once again, good evening, council members. This resolution is actually related to the police station project, which is underway, that we've been coming before the council in the last few months, getting financing approvals for. And those bonds are going to be payable in large part from TIF revenues and primarily from the consolidated Creasy TIF area. However, to give the city flexibility and payment of those bonds, we're working with Mr. Carson to amend the McCarty TIF area to add the police station project as one of the projects to that TIF area as part of its plan. And like we've done so many times before, when we've gone back and amended the plans, there's a process for that involves going to the redevelopment commission, then to the plan commission for approval, and now before the council. And if you approve this resolution tonight, we'll have a public hearing before the redevelopment commission at its next meeting. And again, really the purpose of this is to give the city flexibility in the payment of debt service on the police station bonds from various sources of tax increment revenues, including the McCarty TIF. And I know Dennis Carson, I'm not sure if you're on the line, but if you are, if you had anything to add, we've been working with him on this and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from council members concerning this resolution? Hearing none, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on resolution 2020-23?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown, Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
The resolution passes 8-0.
Okay. Reports of standing committees. Reports. Reports of special committees. Reports by the mayor.
Just wanted to thank everybody for everybody's well wishes. So thank you for that.
Reports of councilmen. Any miscellaneous or new business? And as said before, there's no other public comment. Is that correct, clerk?
You are correct.
Okay, so Mr. Heidi
I move to adjourn.
and Mr. Campbell
Second.
and roll call. Vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown, Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.